All right, welcome back. Another episode, 8 DWA, TTP, etc., etc. Look, if you're gonna, if you're here, you already know what this is about. So we just talk about nothing.
We're still doing these?
I don't know, but from our last episode, oh man, last week's episode was an absolute banger, wasn't it? It was amazing,
Yeah, you
and
can keep telling yourself
and
that.
the one before that too. 2 weeks
Uh-huh.
ago, it was great
Oh yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
just like like that's what people really listen to us for. Our our professionalism, our consistency. All the very very well thought out content that we put out.
Hmm. Highly professional.
Highly professional.
Yeah.
Just consistent schedule.
I'll attribute that to our natural success.
Yes, definitely. But jokes aside, we're back from a what is it now? Like a 2 week hiatus. I've been busy. That's my excuse. I don't know. You can't use mine.
I mean, I have been equally busy in different
Whoa.
ways.
Stealing my excuses now. I already told you,
Yeah.
bro. Get your own.
Look, not everyone can have legitimate excuses, so some of us just have to, try to slide our way through. My dog ate my homework.
Oh, that's always a good one. But
Yeah.
lots of things have happened in the last couple of weeks. So Ukraine popped out. That was cool, I guess.
That's old.
Nothing.
That's old news now. I
I,
mean,
yeah. I mean that is. It's
I
kind of
mean,
sad that it is old news.
but that was like how I mean, the same thing with like the Afghanistan thing. That was over like in a couple weeks, and then it's just like, oh, that country that just like fell into like Taliban hands. Like, oh, should we follow up on them? Nah.
Yeah, it's definitely like oh, it's still going on. Like it's sensational news. Like anything
Yeah.
happens big, like oh, Hong Kong riots. It was huge. This is gonna determine the freedom and democracy of the Far East. And then a week or two later, people are like, oh, that's still going on.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
I mean, it's sad, but that's exactly how it is.
yeah,
It's like they're just gonna move on to the next thing. So, Ukraine is like, oh yeah, a lot of stuff popped off, and then all of a sudden it's like nothing else, and then like, oh, now we got to deal with like, uh, it's more about like what's happening here to us because of like the freaking gas prices right now.
yeah. Which also relates to the Ukraine
But
situation.
but the funny thing is, it almost is like it's not about Ukraine; it's about Russia. So
Yeah, yeah,
basically,
yeah.
it's like funny because they're tangibly related, obviously,
Mhm.
and it's like because of like the moves that Russia's making in Ukraine. But like the funny part about it is that the fact is the focus is no longer on Ukraine. Because before it was like, oh, the ghost of Kiev, and like, all the people taking up arms, and like, all the friggin' people out there being like, oh yeah, Ukraine, like free Ukraine, and like this and that, and like they should be able to defend their homeland. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, like I have to pay more money at the gas pumps? What's going on?
Yeah. It is kind of ridiculous. I can't remember the last time gas was this high. It was like 2008, 2009. I was in California. It was like $5 a gallon. I was like, holy shit. Like it
Yeah.
was so bad that they had to cut down buses. Like the city couldn't afford public transportation, so they like shut down lines. That's how bad it was.
And the worst part of it was like, I think
Oh,
at
and
the
we were going
time,
through a water ration. Like
yeah.
California is like the worst place to live. Yeah, that's right. Oh, you California fans. That's right. I'm I'm not sorry. I lived there. I hated it.
It's okay, they all agree with you.
Yeah. Except, now it's even worse to live in Washington.
Yeah, actually, I mean, like, kind of a segue, I guess, into that. It's like, you know, the I get a lot of people who move from California to Washington because, like, Washington was a pretty nice place to live, and there are some aspects of it that are nice about it. Like, for example, when it's like that perfect weather of like, that brisk 60, 70-degree weather, and it's got like sun, and like it's beautiful because there's a lot of rain.
Oh, so you mean the
um
20 days out of the year?
I mean, it's more like 2 months, okay? But
Uh,
but the fact of the matter is, it's like you get a lot of like really scenic looking like background. So like that's one thing that's like super nice about it. But basically everything else sucks. Like our government sucks. Our like just like how everything is run, all the freaking rampant crime and like all that stuff. Like the Amazon building in downtown Seattle literally moved because of crime. Like basically, they were like, "Oh, our employees, we don't want them to go to that location to work because of how bad the crime is in Seattle." So basically, it's like, all right, you basically like just essentially the people who moved up from California to Washington, and then like they go to like the gun shop, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, I'm finally like able to like buy guns and like like I'm like in like the freedom land," and then I'm just like out of the frying pan into the fire, my friend. I see. It's like almost worse here now. Like all the new laws that have been passed because basically people don't know how to not vote the wrong way. Like we just lost our ability to buy high capacity magazines after July this year. So July, I think 2020. I think it's yeah, basically a high capacity magazine banned for this year passed, and so after July, you won't be able to purchase new high capacity magazines. But the really dumb part about it is, of course, it's like, your typical feel good law. So essentially, what they've done is they've passed this, but they said, oh, if you already own them, they're grandfathered. So basically, people are going to buy the fuck out of magazines from now until the law goes into effect. And then they were also like, oh, we're actually not going to allocate any budget towards enforcing the law. So essentially, what it is it's completely meaningless and unenforceable because you can't prove that the magazines were not purchased prior to the actual date of the ban. And then it's like there's also nothing stopping you from just crossing into a different state, buying the magazines and bringing them back. So it's more of just like the local inconvenience of not being able to go to the store and buy them locally. You just have to go somewhere else or have somebody else like ship you magazines.
Yeah, and it's like and I don't know, I'd have to read the actual bill, but if it's anything like the California one, it technically only sell prohibits the sale of magazines of a capacity of more than 10 rounds, which means you can buy all the parts, but it's not a magazine that, like so that's how a lot of Californians get around with it. They just buy the magazine and parts. Be like, oh, let me just buy this magazine body. Let me buy this magazine spring. Let me buy this magazine follower and magazine base plate. But they are just parts. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a just an even more kind of like a version of the constructive possession.
It's the repair kit they
Yeah,
buy.
basic, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those things they pass. So it's like A, it feels good, and B, they can just throw the book at you harder. Like they just find something else to get.
The worst part about the whole thing was they basically broke every law. Like every law that would have prevented it from going through was broken to pass this new law. So essentially, like for example, the legislative session was supposed to end at like 5 p.m. And if it doesn't, I can't remember if I think it is 5 p.m. at the end of the day. So basically, if the law is not passed by 5 p.m., the law is dead, or the proposition is dead. They basically at like right before 5 p.m. they were like, we're gonna take a dinner recess. They went to dinner for hours, came back, and then passed the law at like 2 a.m. when like nobody's up. So basically, they like did it in the dark where everyone's sleeping because they and it's like during a weekday, so everyone has to work the next day. So they basically came back to session afterward and at 2 a.m. in the morning passed an illegal law that basically contradicts the state constitution where you can't like mess with like current gun laws and like there's a lot of shady stuff going on with how it all went down essentially.
Of course. Good
But
old
that's
Washington.
typical. I mean, Washington is just run into the ground, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Oregon's not much better. It's just you can't, the
Ah,
states, the coasts are just done.
yeah.
It's just over. You just got to go. Hey, I'm going Midwest. All right, see you there.
But that's another thing too that's tough about it is that like a lot of places are
I know.
essentially like I mean going the same route. Like I mean look at Texas. Texas is basically purple now.
Yeah.
You know, and
But
they're hanging on by a thread.
how are we supposed to stop the Russian invaders if we don't have guns?
No, if the Russian invades, then all the leftists will just change their minds and be like, "Oh yeah, we need to defend our homeland, right? 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 Right, guys?
God,
Right?"
that is the dumbest thing. That I I can't believe on one hand they would try to ban guns. Why do you need high capacity magazines? Why do you need AR-15? Deer doesn't wear Kevlar, and then it's not for hunting. And then on the other hand, they're like, man, I really praise the brave people of Ukraine for picking up arms to defend their hometown. It's like, weird, really weird.
I mean, the hypocrisy is just incredible.
Unless they come out and say, okay, if shit happens, we will hand you an M4. Then fine, like fine, I will compromise there, right? If it's like here's a ticket where you can redeem your M4, then fine.
Yeah, but then they're gonna be like, "Oh, sorry, you didn't vote leftist last time we voted. Your ticket's invalid." Like they're just gonna change the rules on you, dude.
Yeah. You look at the fine print, redeemable only if you vote for this party member.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's so bad. I mean, like,
Yeah.
and like their own party can't even figure out what's going on. Like, literally in the last State of the Union, Biden was like, "Fund the police." Okay, which way do you actually believe? I'm not really like seeing the connection here, and then everyone's confused because it's like, oh, do we follow him? Do we not follow him? Like, that's so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about either party. I just, like I just care about things, right? But it's like at least think for your guns, right? Like
Yeah, yeah,
find a hill to die on. like
yeah.
that's all I ask, right? Like, I could be wrong on many things. Like Bullpups are better. So, change my mind. Like I will die on certain hills, but that's more than I can say for politicians.
At least you have a hill to die on.
That's true. That is true. I will die defending my bullpup hill, and no one can come here.
I still have not gotten my hands on a Helion yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no one has either transferred one or we haven't gotten one in the shop.
Have you guys ordered any?
We're trying. I mean, anytime there's a new hot item, we definitely want to try to have it. But I think I've seen one person post that they got one, but like I haven't seen it in person. Like I've only seen pictures
Yeah.
online.
I don't know. Like it looks cool, but it honestly just feels too much. I don't. I haven't played with one. I haven't even seen one in person. I would like to play with one, but it honestly feels like what's the MSRP, like 2000 or
Yeah,
1800, somewhere around
I think
there.
it's like 2000.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like it's still too much of a fad. Look, if the RDB couldn't break in the bullpup market at 899, like off the shelf, I don't see how this is gonna like break into
I
really
kind of
change people's minds,
I
or
kind of
break into the
feel like
market.
because you have the RDB, and like I think some people still view Caltech stuff as not credible, even though like a lot of their new stuff is like well beyond performance of basically like the ratio of price point. Paying $2,000 for something like this seems like really far like outfield. If you kind of
For a
see
lot
what
of
I'm saying,
people, is what you're saying. Or
because the Helion is
yeah.
like in my mind, it's like what does the Helion really give you that
No,
an RDB doesn't give
exactly.
you?
Like an RDB or the Tavor and the Og has actually been battle proven, right? Or has
Yeah,
been like that has historically been proven, as in like it's a word like so. Whereas the Helion kind of comes out of left field or out of nowhere, and and it's at the same price point as an Og or a Tavor, uh, and what does it give you more that exactly? Let's say an RDB does it for the RDB literally does it at half the price.
Is the Helion an issue rifle like with
In
like
Croatia, yeah,
Croatian
and
military?
a few
Okay.
like police forces here and there around the
I
world.
guess my
Like it's,
question is, do they actually fight though? Because like
I
it's a
don't think
difference.
so.
Yeah,
Like
like it's
yeah,
it's like one thing to say if
yeah.
it's an issued rifle, but do they even see combat is the question.
Well, and that's the other thing. It's like I don't think you're not actually getting the Helion rifle. It's like Springfield got the Helion like license and design, and then they fucked with it, right? To make
Hmm.
it to like change it because it takes the Springfield one takes AR grips, right? And it
Yeah.
has to be 16 inches. So they changed some stuff to make it so it's probably not even like an actual like factory like VHS like you know what I
That's
mean?
actually
Like
a very good point because like it is it's
yeah.
not the same gun. Like
Whereas
it's not
like
like you're
yeah, whereas like Tavor and Oggs are made by Steyr or IWI, right? It's not
Mhm.
like somebody else taking the design.
Yeah.
It would be like, all right, you want a Sentry MKE or you want an HK SP5, right?
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
So that's where I think the Helion is. It might not fail, but I don't think it's gonna be like it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna change the market or at least like shake up the bullpup because the Tavor had a good shot at it. I felt like that was huge when it first came out,
Hmm.
and that did change the market. And the RDB couldn't do it at $900, and FN stopped FS 2000. So I I think bullpups just it's just too hard to change people's minds.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, to me right now, the RDB is the closest thing to the best bullpup out there, aside from the fact that, like, it
It's
doesn't.
Caltech.
Well, it does. Like, okay, Caltech's like they work well. Like the new ones, especially, work pretty well, but they still kind of have that like plasticky feel that doesn't feel solid. You know what I mean?
I do know
This is
what
the
you mean.
boomer argument where they're like, I carried 1911 because I can't trust plastic, fantastic Tupperware guns. You know, like that. Like that's
1911.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of one of those things where I feel like with when people look at Keltex and they pick one up and they play with it, especially when you dry fire a Keltec and it has that twang, like it's like it feels like a toy almost. I kind of think that like no matter how good they are, um, it's hard for people to put their faith in it because there's some parts of it that just don't feel like solid or like give you that sense of like reliability.
I do know what you mean. I do know I because well I have two RDBs.
Mhm.
And I know exactly what you mean because like the foregrip it's nice plastic, but it's no different from like an act like just like an injection molded like airsoft handguard. It's like like it'll work. It's solid, but like
Hey, is that
it gets
Tokyo
that feel.
Marui?
I mean, if Tokyo is better, let's face it. Um,
Is that Tokyo Marui's Real Shock RDB?
Whoa. Dude, an airsoft RDB, I would totally buy one. Oh my god, that would actually be so cool. But I don't know.
RDB GBB?
Yeah, GBBR, remember?
Yeah,
RDB
GBB. Yeah, you're
GBBR.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got too many acronyms. I can't remember all
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, KT, RDB, GBBR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WTF BBQ.
Yeah. But I highly recommend one, honestly. If you want a bullpup at the price point, if you can find one for about 900, it's probably the best and the most well thought out, and the most like AR-15 friendly because
Do
the
you
controls are
have
very good. Huh?
do you have a picture of your current configuration or you still kind of keep that under wraps?
Not so much under wraps as like oh, I do. Let me pull one up. Where can I pull one up?
Especially with some of the new accessories you just got for it, it looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
Especially because that you don't see like a lot of people like messing with those. Actually, the one that's on the screen right now where it looks like a FAMAS, kind of
I've seen this
low
one.
key tight,
Yeah,
like low key
I've
pretty
seen
tight.
I've seen this one before. This one's pretty cool. Yeah. Uh, let's see. More FAMAS. There's not a lot of parts for it, which I think is. I mean, that's just because there's not a lot of people with it. Although
Hmm.
you really don't need much, luckily. But let me pull up a picture. Let me find a picture. Where did I set it? Let's see. All right. How
But
about
yeah.
so? Have you gotten anything new?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to think. What did I? Oh, I got actually a gun that I've really wanted for a very long time.
No.
And this is a gun that I. The only reason why I acquired it is because it cost me absolutely zero money. So
Uh,
essentially, I'm especially perfectly fine with it because it's not like I think up to a certain point I probably would spend the money on it, but it was something where I was like, if I am able to get it for free, then that is even more like motivation for me to get one because it's so like lulzy, I suppose.
uh,
But I've always really wanted a high point, and I
Did you get a high
finally,
point?
yeah, and I finally got a high point, and it cost me $0. And so
Zero. I didn't.
$0.
I
I
knew that.
did
I knew
not.
they were cheap. I didn't know they were that cheap.
Hey, listen, times are tough, man. So I got myself a high point, and it's not exactly like the coolest configuration or
Hmm.
anything, and it's not the Yeet Master or the Yeet Cannon, the
Oh,
Yeet Cannon.
no,
It's not like the
it's
super
not the
cool
cool.
one,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
or like one of my friends has the. I think we might have talked about this before, but he has the $100 money print
Hmm.
finish, and so that one's like super sick, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like boring. It's just a black color modeled C9, and it's also 9 millimeter, which in itself is good for me because I can actually shoot it, but it's bad for me because really I wanted it in 40 for the memes.
Uh,
So, it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, it's like, it's the problem solver's little brother, you know?
the problem solver's little brother.
Yeah, he's like aspiring to be a problem solver, you know?
That's funny.
So he doesn't quite solve problems. He just kind of like manages them. So we'll call it the problem manager, basically.
The problem manager.
But so I ended up shooting here. Do you want to talk about your
Yeah.
RDV first?
Yeah. So I found a picture of it. So, yes, that's a Hera grip. It's actually surprisingly not bad. But yeah, I just got a Hera grip, and I also got first. Yeah, first of all, this is about RDB in tan, 20 inch. I love the thing. Absolutely, it's so light and so easy to use. Um,
Naturally
but
armor piercing.
yeah, I mean, yeah, 20 inches. It's a little bit longer than a Mark 18 like extended. With the stock out, it's just a little bit longer, which is insane if you think about it. It's double the barrel length while having the same kind of like kind of the same overall size. But
If you change the muzzle device, can you make it shorter, or is that the
oh yeah, yeah.
shortest?
No, the muzzle device stops like right here. So
Oh,
or
damn.
stops
Okay.
like I think right here. So yeah, it's a little bit shorter. I mean, I also have a 17-inch version, and
Yeah.
that just stops right at the end of the handguard.
Hmm.
So I can and it's a pretty easy swap. It's kind of like the AUG, where you just swap the barrel with the you just swap the upper mount. But
Hmm.
yeah, so the Hera grip surprisingly. So I actually 3D printed one and it works out pretty well. And I was just like, you see the Hera meme. It's like, oh, it's a sci-fi gun, or it's like you see it on Airsoft, or you see it in what's that stupid movie with Chris Pratt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
War of
yeah,
the
yeah, Tomorrow War or whatever.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
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 the
yeah,
Tomorrow
Future
War.
War or
That's it.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
so so it's a meme, but honestly, kind of lit. Like I really like it.
So like the funny thing about the Hera grip is that like when they first came out with it and marketed it, they like basically marketed it for the worst configuration of like any gun that they could have put it on. Like they had like no
Yeah.
imagination when it came to like what they could have put it on. So like for example, this I would have never thought of, but it works really well on your gun. The only thing that I'm thinking about is that, like, is it kind of weird that the Hera grip is like slightly lower than your firing hand grip when you have it on the RDB?
A little bit, but you kind of get used to it.
Okay.
So you kind of get used to it. You don't. So it's more comfortable if you use it like a just like a really comfortable angle foregrip. So I
Yeah.
don't like you only put your thumb through the loop and actually hold it like a foregrip. I feel like if you're like, okay, I'm gonna like sit here and like, or like I'm gonna actually aim,
Hmm.
quote unquote, or you're trying to like actually stand there, aim, and maybe recoil control. But otherwise, just grabbing it, wrapping your wrap. If you okay, imagine this is like a pistol grip, like a pistol. So you're just putting your hand in the front of it. It's very comfortable, if you get what I'm
Mm,
saying. So yeah, if
okay.
you're just like
Yeah.
yeah, if you're just wrapping your non-shooting hand over, it's super comfortable. It is a little bit low. I feel like that would get fixed if I just get like a M lock rail
Hmm.
and then just it'll be a little bit higher, but it fits really well. So that's the one thing. In the front of it leaves a perfect little gap. I think I'm gonna try to get a TLR8, so I'll get a light and laser, and it would kind of fit
Nice.
right. It kind of fit right here, and that would solve that. And then I just got this Hensoldt scope. So, for any eagle-eyed viewers, it might look like a G36 scope, and you'd be right because it is just a G36 scope, except they made it for Picatinny. So, but it's a direct mount, and it's a pain to get on and off. So I had to wait until LaRue finally decided to ship me one of their LaRue risers.
That's super cool. Are you gonna cut the tab off or are you gonna leave
I'm
it?
I'm really torn actually because I didn't want to buy. Okay, I feel like if I didn't have to wait this long to get one, I would. But I feel kind of weird like buying a what like a hundred like whatever $20 part or it's like something like that, waiting like 3 or 4 weeks and then cutting it immediately. Um,
Well,
but I also don't know what I would do with this. You're right.
see, I will say, okay, let me kind of clarify this because I used to have one of those mounts.
Mhm.
The only reason why it's long like that is because you can put an EOTech and then pop a magnifier on the
Yeah,
back.
it's like a yeah.
So if you never use it for that, and or if you dedicate the mount to the Hensoldt, I kind of feel like it would actually be pretty cool for you to chop off that edge so that it would just fit it exactly, and then you just never take the optic off that mount,
Yeah.
because there really isn't any reason for you to, unless you were to use it on a non-AR height standard mount, like gun, like I guess, or like something else that has like like a more like a sloped cheek weld. So and you also are using it for the quick disconnect feature.
Yeah, so it probably will. I'm just waiting, kind of like to get over it right now. I'm waiting to get the
Yeah,
courage to
yeah,
cut it down. But you're right though, because it would be more optimal to cut it. Because if you look, if I cut it, then I can flip it. So then the mount, the lever, it's on this side. It's on the right
yeah,
side of rifle, and it faces forward instead of poking back at me.
yeah.
Right. So, and the lever being on the left side actually makes talking kind of hard because then it's like
Hmm.
it's kind of like the FN Knuckle Buster with like a
Yeah.
with an EOTech where I have to kind of watch out when I grab my lever or
Dude,
charging ammo.
that's even more reason to cut it actually.
I think I
Yeah,
will. I think
yeah.
I'm just waiting, kind of like just playing with it. Like I do
Does
kind.
that
Hmm?
optic have any magnification?
Yeah, it's a 3.5 times. So
Oh, dude, you should put a red dot on the
no,
top.
that's the plan. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
like an open like a reflex kind of like or like
Hmm.
an RMR style. So that this is like my ghetto kind of like uh ACOG. This is like an ACOG but not an ACOG, right?
Yeah.
So but it's a cooler ACOG because the form factor is much cooler, at least for this. It
No, it's
looks really cool,
super futuristic.
this is the this was the plan.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah.
It
So
always leads back to Halo.
yeah. So this was the kind of like the not I'm not gonna build it exactly like it, obviously, but like this is the inspiration.
Yeah.
Um, it's not very often you see a little square scope. So I did think about 3D printing kind of
A hand
a
guard.
hand guard, yeah, like a large hand guard, something like that. But I don't know, but yeah, that's a work in progress. So the Hera is just there for fun, and it's only $30. I highly recommend it. Even if it is for a meme, it's pretty good for like 35 bucks. Highly recommend it, and you get a QD socket on both sides. Like just buying it,
That's pretty cool
just
actually.
getting because just putting QD sockets on your rifle, right? You're gonna spend at least like $15-20, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and you get a foregrip on top of it. That's actually very comfortable.
Yeah.
So
That's not bad.
yeah, I like it.
All right, Hera, good value.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Value. Like, is it actually good? Questionable, but the value, yeah, like I think so. Because it's like I don't think I would trust this over like KHC or GG&G, right? Like, but it works and it's got a good value.
Yeah.
I'm also not spending $120 on on just a vertical hand, foregrip.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of my rifle right now.
Nice.
I've also got a
So,
couple of things, but I might make a video on it. Oh, I fixed my P90 or PS90. I got side rails on it.
oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah, the ones you gave me.
So you can actually like put real accessories on there.
Yeah, because the rails, like the screws they give you, are longer because they don't expect you to have the integrated red dot.
Yeah.
So they expect you to thread it into like the rail block.
So did you just trim the screws down?
Yeah, I just had this. I was gonna get shorter screws or get like an actual like screw cutter, but then I just got lazy and I said fuck it. So I just took a Dremel and I took a nut and a Dremel and just sheared it down. So it
That's
works fine
funny.
though.
All right, I want to go back to talking about the Highpoint
Yes.
because like I've held one before, but only really in passing, and it's like I think it's hard to develop kind of like a feel for what it's like if you just pick it up in passing. But now that I actually own one, I'm actually super impressed
No, I
with the
really like high
Highpoint.
points. I really
So
like
like I mean especially at the price point, because what does it generally cost to buy one of the Highpoint pistols?
150, 200 at
Okay, yeah,
most.
but okay, let's say like 150 is like the base cost, right? So this guy, I don't know if they normally come with two magazines, but mine came with two magazines. And really the only thing that kind of sucks is like it's single stacked for how big it is. I feel like it should be a double stack. That being said, just in time for the California mag ban, so my new carry is like legal, you know. But
And it's
in
a
any
brick.
yeah, I mean, it also doubles as like a melee weapon. I mean, the
Yeah,
slide
it's like
is just like so heavy.
it's like the
Um,
Glock. A Glock. Yeah, you can beat people with, but this is like,
yeah,
oh shit, you can
you can
really beat
really,
people.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you won't feel bad if it breaks.
No, it's not gonna break. That's the nice part.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's some stuff that kind of is like not that desirable. Like, for example, the magazine disconnect, which maybe that's modifiable. I kind of don't like when my guns have mag disconnects. The other thing is there's an integrated thumb safety, which I feel like is like probably necessary for this thing, but also like kind of sucks. And then like the sights are okay. It's got a high vis yellow front sight and then two rear dots.
Look, it's got sights. Well, you're already
Yeah.
asking too much.
Yeah, I mean, they're also on the wrong side of the gun. I feel like they're supposed to be like on the side plane of the gun.
Someone. Yeah. Oh, they got that for you.
Yeah, they like milled out the dovetail.
Yeah. No, they got that for you. There you go, right there. That's what you
Yeah.
need.
Oh yeah. So what I'm really interested in doing is
Okay.
oh yeah.
Yo. The
But
discount Chinese site is really what makes it.
speaking of, I just really want to put a red dot on it.
Mhm.
And the funny thing is, I actually asked a bunch of my buddies to try to group this thing, and I was actually pretty impressed with what some of the shooters were able to pull with their groupings. So I had a guy who basically had I want to say it was like a 1.5-inch group at like 15 yards. And so I'm pretty impressed. Like whether, I mean, I don't know that I could do that
That's
with this
actually really
thing,
cool.
but what the hell is that?
It's a hipoint SBR.
No, it's not. Is that a chassis?
Yeah, looks like it. Look, dude, that's sick.
Oh my god. Is that a B&T stock? Like what stock is that?
I don't know, but it probably is just like a take off one of
Dude,
them.
if only if it was full auto.
Yeah. Now that, yo,
Kate
that
Moss
stock,
MCX stock.
yo, that stock
what
costs
the
more than a gun.
that's lit right there. I mean, because aren't the rifles like actually like a little cheaper?
Yeah, they are. They're pretty cheap. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because the rifle needs even less kind of like,
Yeah.
tooling. Like, it could be, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to like mod this thing a little bit.
We have CX4 at home.
Oh man, that's something.
I miss my CX4.
Like, it'd be kind of fun to put like a threaded barrel in here so I could either suppress or comp it. And then I just wanted to like tap the top of it for a pick rail.
Comp it.
So,
it's not meant to be quiet. Comp it. Definitely.
Yeah. So comp, and then I was thinking I was just gonna pop a red dot on the top, like maybe an EOTech or something. And then in order to make up for the weight, because it's 9mm, I was gonna basically lightning cut the slide.
Ooh, yeah.
So like if I can balance out the weight.
Are you gonna strip the finish too to make it run more reliably?
I was thinking about that, and I might actually do that because I was gonna like maybe Cerakote it a different color anyway.
Yeah, so it's like strip it and then just Cerakote the outside.
But see, the thing that's really interesting is this particular one is actually super smooth.
Yeah.
Like already. So like when I'm shooting like standard 115 9mm ammo through it, it actually functions properly. Like it doesn't hang up or anything like that. Just like these guys who did this like a while ago.
I don't want to give other people a shout out, but go check out the Ultimate Highpoint. It's a great video.
So like he did lightning cuts. You can see the barrel. They gold plated the barrel. They got
with Home Depot spray paint.
So in any case, I just think like it'd be really fun to trick this thing out, and then it would be. I was also thinking about trying to get a rig set up for it, like a holster, maybe some mag pouches and stuff, maybe a couple more mags.
You need a race holster. That's what you. Really
I was gonna try to go to some shooting competitions and see if I could like place or like do any better than last, basically.
You probably could, honestly.
Because it actually shoots kind of okay. Like it's not good
it's
by any
so
means,
heavy and it's straight blowback. So it's like, if you have lower recoil rounds, it basically goes nowhere.
They might not even let me compete with it if it's the weight classes outside.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Or they might just be like, it's not safe.
I mean, you could be an open class then,
Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's funny.
That would be even funnier. Compete in an open class against like modded race guns with your Highpoint and not be bottom.
How
bad would you feel? How bad would you feel if you go to a competition, like actually seriously go, you train, you build your gun, and some idiot comes in like wearing like fucking like, I don't know, some meme like gun t-shirt, and then show with like red patches on his hat, show up with a Highpoint and outshoots you.
You trying to say something to me, man?
You just quit right there.
Yeah. Ooh, what was that?
Looks like his barrel blew off.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think it would be kind of funny to try, like, because they have like local competitions like Steel Challenge where a lot of random people go. Like usually they're not like. Not everybody there is super serious competitors. They mostly do it for fun, but you also get a little bit of like bragging rights. And so like it would just be really interesting to go and do that. And it's like if I got any place aside from last, I'd be pretty happy, to be honest. Because the trigger is horrendous. Like that's definitely one of the biggest like drawback. Oh, I like that pink and teal colored one. That is actually kind of a cool color combo. But yeah, the trigger is freaking horrendous. So it's like I
You
would
gotta
say
get wood
that's the
grips.
biggest drawback.
You gotta
Man,
get wood grips and then get gold medallions.
gold screws,
Yeah,
like
gold screws. No. Silver screws with gold medallions. There you go.
because they just freaking. I mean, like the screws are literally just Ace Hardware
Yeah.
screws.
Ooh, ivory looking grips. Man, you can do some really funny stuff with this.
Yeah. And the thing is, the frame
Mhm.
is plastic, so
Yeah.
I don't really understand that either. I thought it was metal, but I guess I was wrong.
It's so heavy that you thought it's metal, but it's just
Yeah.
but it's literally just the cast iron
Yeah.
slide, basically.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I should pick one up. I've been meaning to pick one up for so long, and I just never have.
Do it. The only thing that sucks about this thing is I wish that it was naturally comped, because they do
Yeah,
sell ones that they're
I
comped
know.
already.
Well, and another thing is like, you think they could slightly innovate and made a double stack one?
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a true double stack. Like it can feed into a single stack, right? Or
Yeah.
like, but you just get a wider. Like you can keep. I don't know. I don't know how they would make it, but yeah, like either way, it's like it would be nice to have more than what's the capacity? Like 8 rounds.
I don't. Let me just take a look here. I have it in my hands right now. I think it's 8.
Yeah, I'm
1,
pretty sure
2,
it's 8
3.
rounds.
I'm pretty sure it's 8 too.
Yeah.
8 plus 1. Man, it's not even 10, dude. Like,
Yeah. Dude, they're just being extra. Say, hey, but it's still illegal in New York.
Yeah, I know. It's like it's like you might as well have made them 7 rounds, so they're like legal like everywhere, basically.
Yeah, but then you'd have to compete with all the flood 1911s. 7 rounds is all you need.
If it was 40,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the 40 is a 7-rounder.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it is. Yeah, probably not.
Well, actually, the question is because the C9 I think is the compact model. So then, like,
yeah,
I guess
so
the
full
regular one is
think,
probably like
yeah.
10, maybe.
Because it also looks like it's got an. Oh, that's the 45. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe for science, you just have to get one.
Dang. Now I kind of wish I had the full size to go with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I might get.
Oh, maybe the compact works well because it's smaller and lighter weight.
Oh yeah, or there's less drag on the.
Yeah.
There's. You know what? I need to get a big. Yeah, you can buy it from I thought you can buy it on Amazon for a hipoint.
Yo, okay, the one with the micro dot right there actually looks pretty sick.
Which one? This
like one? It's ported. No, the one next to it. It's like got the silver slide. Yeah, that one actually kind of looks low key pretty sick. Like it looks like it has a pick rail too. Stipple grip. Yo, dang.
Yeah. You know what? I'll get one. I'll do some dumb stuff to it. I don't know what, but I'll do some dumb stuff.
No, you know what it's gonna end up being. It's just gonna be a fucking Halo Magnum pistol.
The shittiest one. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, but it has to be 10 mil explosive ammo, right?
No, it's 50 cal. It has to be 50 cal. Yeah, explosive armor piercing explosive rounds. It's like,
yeah.
How do you get both? I mean, like I feel like you get one or the other.
I don't know. I mean, it would be actually legitimately. It would be really cool if it was in 357 SIG.
Oh my god, that would actually be cool. But the gun would explode.
Yeah,
of course. Blowback through 357 SIG. No thanks. Actually, no thanks. You know what?
It's okay. It's cocked.
I will watch someone shoot that actually until the slide just comes flying back at you.
Look, okay, we just have to re-engineer this thing with like real materials.
Yeah, all they do is they're gonna put a heavier spring on it and call it good.
Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, you convinced me. I'll go buy one. Don't they have a custom one? Don't they make one that's already threaded or like comped?
Oh yeah. Oh,
like,
definitely. Yeah, they have like a special version that's pretty cool.
All right. High point firearms, E-cannon. All right, handguns, model C9, right? Yeah, that's the. Yeah. They have C9G. I'm guessing that's the carry.
I wonder because it's straight blowback. Is it hard to change the barrel?
Can you even?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume it's kind of like a fixed barrel in the frame, but yeah, whether you can change it, I don't know. Oh, hold on. So on their Instagram, the YC9s, the Yeet Cannon, they're showing the threaded barrel. So let's see.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like you can take it out. So do you have to press it out or something? But that might be
Yeah, something like that. Hmm. Man, if you could buy one, that'd be sick. And then I just throw it into my gun and have the ability to put a comp or a
it looks
suppressor
so
on it.
weird with the Osprey on it.
Yeah.
Because it
I mean, it kind of looks pretty cool. I mean, if you think about like
no, it's
the
cool.
profile of it is
Yeah.
like interesting, I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
this yellow one. Oh, I want that yellow one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like if I get one, I would either make it Milwaukee or DeWalt or Cobalt.
Oh,
color.
yeah. And then have the base be like the charging.
Yeah, like the battery. Yeah.
Dang, that's super cool. I mean, totally lame.
No, definitely comp it. Comp it would be way cooler.
Yeah.
I don't. And
I
also,
wish they had
also a straight blowback 9mm like suppressed just feels like all I can think of is just, I'm coughing just thinking about it. It's like
man, they don't
wait,
have any.
a picture of a 9. Wait, why do I have a picture of 911? Okay, hold up, scroll up.
Wait, what scroll? Oh, this one. Oh, this was from basically like you know how like sometimes Instagram accounts will like do like a memorial.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, how come they don't have any pictures of their
what
like
what are they trying to say? What are they trying to say? If everybody had a high point, they're trying to say if we had high points, we could have prevented 1911.
Yes.
9/11.
They could have prevented 1911s from taking over.
Yes. They go back in time, and then instead of adopting the 1911, we adopt the C9.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, they really don't have any photos of their the ones that come with comps. Anyway, that's pretty cool, I guess. Hey, why is there a picture of Biden and Kamala on here?
Who they are. He's not wearing a mask.
Oof. All right. Anyways, I think that's enough talk for High Point. This is literally going to turn into the High Point episode.
It's the high. What are you talking about? This is already the High Point episode. We just talk about 2 guns we got. But what else is it?
Let's see. What?
Oh, I got another gun I'm building. Ooh, I'm excited. I just need to get it lower for it. It's a very long boy.
I kind of feel like that deserves a video on its own because of how crazy it is.
It will. It will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm building. I'm going to finish building the RDB and make videos on it. So look forward to that. Hopefully. And we have another video hopefully coming out soon. Probably sooner than this, or maybe around this time. Maybe the same time as this. But it has to do with buckets.
Yes. Drops in the bucket.
No. Not that kind of bucket. Yeah.
Oh.
Head buckets.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Buckets that give you head.
No.
I mean, no, wait. No. Okay, I'm not gonna guess anymore.
Yeah. Remember, this is a family friendly show. Okay.
Is it? Oh, I wasn't told.
Yeah, shooting is a family sport, don't you know?
I mean, I guess like I'm gonna try focusing on getting some videos of some gear out. I noticed that some of the people who are fans of our YouTube page, not too many of them, I suppose, but the ones that are and watch our stuff, they have been asking about a gear like loadout video. So I'm going to try to make some of those and show off some of the gear that we have. Not that it really means anything, because we're just some lowly, dirty civilians that don't.
A lot of people want to see your gun setup. They want to see your the one you did the hot button. I think it's a hot button. Yeah, they want to see that gun setup, or maybe. Yeah.
See, my problem is that and this is a well-known problem amongst my close friends, is that I always start a project and I get like 99% of the way there, and then the 1% is the thing that holds me back from finishing the project, and then it basically just sits for years. And so like that's a really bad habit of mine that I'm trying to correct, but it's definitely like old habits die hard, like really hard, and it's always that one thing. And so it kills me a little bit, and I'm trying to be better about it, but it's
Hey,
just
hey, at least your project at 99% at 90% is still more usable than my project at 250%.
but the problem is usually that 1% is a critical component.
Oh,
And
that's
that's
kind of, I guess,
that's
yeah,
the
that's
thing
fair.
that kind of like kills it a little bit, is that like, okay, let me bring that back. It's more like 95%, and then the 5% of the gun is like a really apparent or obvious thing that needs to come into it. So like for example, I'm sure the secret's out by now if you look at our Instagram page, but I'm working
Nobody
on an
does. It's shadow
LVAW
banned.
build. Oh, right. You can't see it anymore. You have to actually type out the entire Instagram tag in order to find us. But I'm working on a SIG MCX LVAW build, which is a really difficult clone to make
You
because
want to just show them on the screen? It's
I'll
on
have to
it.
see if I can actually pull it up, because I don't know that there's actual pictures of
Oh,
the gun on there, but let's see here.
I thought you had it.
No, because like there's like picture, because I have a few different configurations. So
Oh,
like for
that's right.
example,
Yeah.
this one is like the 11.5-inch 5.56 gun, right? But I also have oh, here actually this one's kind of close. So this was a while back, so it's like obviously there's still a lot of missing stuff, but basically what it is like I'm waiting for the generation 1 rail system. So the old SIG rail that was basically proprietary, where you had to just bolt pick rails into it to attach things to it. And so that's the rail system that they use for the LVAW or Black Mamba prototype, or essentially their integrally, quote unquote, integrally suppressed piston 300 blackout gun. And I'm waiting for the altered ego rail. That it's basically a clone company makes a rail that is basically the same form factor as the LVAW like issued rail, which doesn't actually exist in civilian hands. So the thing that's crazy about it is I did a pre-order so long ago, it's rivaling how long it took to get tax stamps before e-filing. So like I purchased the pre-order September 20th last year, 2021, and it still hasn't come. And then because it's coming from the from Europe, I was like thinking, oh crap, what if they're located in Ukraine? Like I'm never getting this thing basically. So yeah, that's just to reiterate, like
I
there's a
like the
lot.
I like the ARX Mini.
Yeah. Which one? The ARX Mini?
Scroll up. It's up.
Oh, this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, looks like a minis.
Dude, I know. This gun is like so underrated for like how good it is.
I
Oh
love it.
god. It's yeah. You can even see the caption: "Best rifle, don't at me." But yeah, good times. So yeah, you can look at just like weird lolzy content on our Instagram page,
Only
and
if you can find it, but you can't, so don't. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right. I'm
yeah,
trying to use reverse psychology. Yeah.
it's
Tell
definitely
them they can't
working.
tell them they can't see it. They'll make them want to see it.
I can definitely tell that it's working because we just got like 80 subscribers. I mean, followers. We didn't.
Yeah. Speaking of subscribers, go subscribe on YouTube. But that also don't, if you're watching this, you're probably subscribed, so I don't need to tell you that.
Yeah, yeah. We need to promote the Instagram more because nobody actually likes the Instagram. So yeah, that's one of the projects that I'm working on, and hopefully it'll be done soon. But the other part of it is, 300 blackout is still very expensive and kind of hard to get. So it almost is like a little bit of a moot point to even have The gun.
Just shoot 7.62 by 39. Oh wait,
Oops.
can't get any.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess for now, um, stay tuned, I suppose. I mean, that's like our usual tagline, I guess.
I mean,
But
oh,
yeah,
it just sucks. Yeah, I trying to get more videos, but since I honestly haven't even gone shooting for over a year now at this point. Like, so it's just hard to get like in the mood. But I'll try to get some more content. We did pick up, what is it? Is it Ready or Not or whatever? If I could,
yeah.
so maybe we'll get that content. I did also pick up World War Three. That's a pretty fun game, actually. Like pretty
Wait,
good.
what?
So,
What's World War III? Pull that up.
so it was like it was released a long time ago, or a long time being like fucking 2008 or 2018. But uh it had such a shitty launch that it killed the game. It was trying to supposed to be like the Battlefield killer, but then they kind of went back, and then fixed it a lot. So now it's still in kind of beta, but
Hmm.
it plays a lot like it's it tries to be it tries to look realistic, if that makes sense. Like it tries to feel authentic. So it's not
Hmm.
realistic, but it's authentic. There's like a slight difference, right? Because you can be authentic but not realistic. It's like everything looks, feels right, but it's not real. It's still like kind of gamey, but like
Yeah.
but it's got really good features. Like, let's see it. Okay, so I'm gonna let me see if I can show, because the weapon customization kind of shows really well. So yeah, so you can kind of like, do it kind of like, I don't know if you play Tarkov, but it has like Tarkov or like Wildlands, or just more like it has a very high degree of customization, and a lot of it don't even matter. So like there's stuff that you can actually customize, like the scope. Like you can change your scope, you can change your use different foregrip, but then cosmetically you can use different carry handle or risers or like stocks or grips, but it doesn't actually change any stats. But
Yeah.
they give you the option, which is really cool.
That is very cool.
Because whereas like Ghost Recon, while you have a lot of optimization, like in Ghost Recon or whatever, but you do it for some of them, you do it for the stat, or it's like you have to pick between, oh, this looks cooler, but the short barrel looks cooler, but the medium barrel is better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really
Yeah,
hate that like sometimes the customization is so arbitrary because it'll be like, "Oh, the KAC broom handle does not give you as good stats as like some
the Terra
no-name
grips.
airsoft company that like makes a vertical foregrip that is
Yeah,
like really disgusting looking, but it gives you better stats."
yeah.
So then it's just like I hate the fact that I have to choose
So
to use
whereas
an
like so whereas this game, it's like there is stats involved in like for like accessories, but a lot of the other stuff like your pistol grip, your stock, most of it, like, and then you can use risers and whatnot, like are just not superficial, or like they're just
yeah.
like to make your gun feel like you or you want to set it up this way, so you're not forced to be like, oh, like I'm using some ugly airsoft grip because it's got better stats.
Well, like, let me give you an example. Like, I don't understand why they don't just make it so it's like if you put any kind of vertical grip or angle grip on the front of the gun, it
Yeah,
gives you a stat boost. And then if you don't put it on there, then you lose the stat boost. So
yeah,
basically, like, but it doesn't matter which one you put on there,
yeah,
right? Something like
yeah.
that is like kind of,
Yeah, or I mean, they wanted to make you, like, I guess, pick like certain things,
yeah,
such as like angle grip versus like vertical. They want to give you, but that's why I kind of like World War Three, because it's like there is like stat boost, but it's minuscule enough that you can just like live without it, or you can just do it because, oh, I like it because the gun looks cool, or I want it because it gives me better stats. Like it doesn't really
yeah,
matter, but it's got good. Anyways, then the game like plays well and feels well.
okay.
Vehicles suck, but vehicles is one thing. But I don't know. Like I might do some. Like it feels right. It sounds good. I do. I play it for the immersion. I don't know if it's an actual good game. Jury's still out there, but it's pretty fun. And so hopefully we'll get that content and maybe get some Ready or Not content.
There's actually a lot of the stuff that you mentioned in World War III is kind of presented pretty well in Ready or Not.
Yeah,
Um, So like that's definitely something where I think that could be a lot of fun, especially because the dynamic of how you play Ready or Not is so funny because you're basically a cop first and then a shooter
Yeah.
second.
So
So
that's why I kind of like prefer like um World War Three, because it's like it's more brain dead, because it's like kind of like Battlefield or COD, where it's like you just jump in. So it's got like a really good blend of like I don't have to like sweat or immerse myself that hard. Like I get it's basically like the Hollywoodified version of like,
yeah.
Tarkov or like Arma or like a quote unquote like realistic or like Ground Branch or Ready or Not. But I get to still like feel like cool instead of just like, oh, let me walk around corners and then cool, I get shot. Like, well, that's it. Now I either can watch, I get it, I restart the game, or I watch my friends play for the next 20 minutes.
But like that's the funny thing about Ready or Not is
Mhm.
like I think it's they integrated CQB really well into the game to where
Yeah.
if you actually use small team tactics, you will all go home. But
Yeah.
like basically like so then it's like I think it's funny because it makes you feel like a cop. So
Yeah.
like basically, you go out there with your team and you're just like, oh yeah, brothers in blue, like we're gonna go home after this raid to our families, and it's just like, and then like whenever like one of us like messes up and like one of us dies because of it, it's like you feel the action of that consequence, and I think that's just so like, it's an interesting dynamic. Like it definitely takes a different mindset to play the game.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to like fuck around, but it's like they heavily penalize you for like for example if you shoot a civilian, that's like very heavy penalties because you're not supposed to do that because you're like law enforcement, right? Like whereas if you want to play like that
Wait,
kind
wait,
of
wait,
like
wait, wait.
basically.
You're not supposed to do that? 2019 joke. Am I right?
So basically you can like for example if you want to play Ready or Not but you don't want to play the cop aspect, buy Ground Branch.
Yeah.
Basically Ground Branch is like the militarized version of Ready or Not, so it's more of like a search and destroy. You get that more of that like
Yeah.
shooter gamey
Like
kind of
terrorist
aspect.
hunt. Yeah, it's
Yes, exactly. Whereas like Ready or Not is like depending on the modes you play,
yeah.
a lot of them are you're just looking for one guy,
Yeah.
or
It's
like
like
you're basically.
yeah, it's like SWAT. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but it is much more fast paced, which is awesome. I'm really hoping there's one mode that I'm really wanting where basically you wear minimal like light body armor and you just have a handgun and maybe like a taser or something, and then you can run because like you can't full sprint in the game. But if you can have like the sprint option and you just have a handgun and then like you have light body armor, so you can be like patrol cop mode instead of like SWAT,
That's
So
funny. Yeah.
yeah, because the bad guys can run. So basically,
Yeah.
like, that kind of makes it hard sometimes because it's like you're trying to like arrest someone and they just keep running away from you, and that's kind of like awkward. So yeah, they're trying to balance that out a little bit, but I think so far they're doing a pretty good job.
So hopefully, we'll just get more lazy content out there. So stay tuned, and any outro?
Let us know what you think about, I mean, basically this podcast, because it's like, if you guys have topics that you're interested in, feel free to throw them in the comments. We'll look at those and see if maybe it's something interesting, and we'll talk about it. We're happy to kind of see feedback and stuff.
Or hop on our
And
Discord and talk to us, because
yeah,
we're bored and lazy people like that.
yeah, we do have a Discord that you can join, so feel free to jump in there and throw comments down. They have some pretty interesting conversations in there. And then also, I guess we've been the Instagram stuff the whole time. But yeah, hopefully soon we'll also have merch available for sale. We're just trying to work into a way to essentially efficiently take payment. Give me your money so that we can like get you the product. So yeah, stay tuned, and that's pretty much all I got as well.
All right, bye.